This year has been by far one of the worst years on YouTube I can remember. It seems like the website has almost fully been taken over by legacy media and unfunny, uninteresting, corporate, standardized, sellout YouTubers. After years of YouTube slowly changing their layout, it is now completely unrecognizable from what it once was and looks terrible. YouTube shorts suck. I've yet to see a single good one that is not just a reposted TikTok or a video from 12 years ago that the algorithm is promoting now for some reason. It also seems that YouTube is constantly trying to screw over the remaining good creators on the platform, with the rampant age restriction epidemic going around that suppresses videos from the algorithm based on factually incorrect claims. Additionally, when YouTubers are not having to deal with YouTube's increasingly insane rules, they are probably committing some sex crime with a minor. And instead of people actually talking about these problems, most of YouTube seems to be focused on whether Andrew Tate should be allowed to tell his audience no fat chicks or something. Frankly, YouTube is a shit show and will probably only get worse next year. However, I am still making YouTube videos and you are still watching YouTube videos, so there has to be some value hidden within this decrepit website. So today, I will share some of my favorite YouTubers I have watched over the past year. One of these guys will probably get exposed as a pedophile next year, so let's just enjoy their content while we can. Let's get these guys out of the way first. If you have watched either of my previous two best of videos, you should know that I am a fan of a lot of commentary and video essay channels. People like the gamer from Mars, Bernie Vids, famous civil rights supporter Turkey Tom, and my number one pick for last year, Empleman, were some of my favorite YouTubers, and they are still some of my favorites. However, instead of filling each spot on the list with these types of channels, I decided to group them all here because they are pretty similar in the type of content they make and frequently collab with each other. Along with the creators I already mentioned, this year I discovered Wendigoon, a YouTuber who makes fantastic multi-hour long videos breaking down internet ARGs, infamous criminal investigations, and the most notorious conspiracy theories. There is also the Kino Corner, a YouTuber who makes videos analyzing past and present movies, most of which are either infamous for being very graphic or feature a character associated with the Literally Me subculture. There's Ghost Gum, a creator whose main focus is on breaking down the craziest subreddits to exist, and Solar Sands, a former art critic who has shifted his content to video essays about Where's Waldo, Star Wars Battle Droids, loneliness, and a bunch of other stuff. Finally, Slacker is an online figure I have followed for years due to him working alongside Turkey Tom, Bernie Vids, and the gamer from Mars. And this year he returned to his main channel with 3 short documentary-style videos similar to the ones those creators make. If you are a fan of any of the creators I just mentioned, I would highly recommend checking out anybody else from this section that you are unfamiliar with, as chances are you'll like their content too. I usually try to avoid putting YouTubers on the list who only uploaded a single video in 1 year. Thankfully, Internet Historian uploaded 2. While his content is very similar in topic to the 9 creators I just talked about, Internet Historian distinguishes himself from the competition by the production quality of his videos. These videos are not just well thought out video essays about some niche subject 99% of people never would have heard of. They are also filled to the brim with weird Photoshop-like animations that bring the stories he talks about to life. This is a style unlike any other I have seen on YouTube, and definitely makes up for the infrequent upload schedule. If you are still not subscribed to Summon and Salt, then what are you even doing on YouTube? He has been consistently making the best documentaries on YouTube for 5 years at this point, let alone speedrun documentaries. Speedrun as a whole has exploded in popularity over the past decade, and I feel like a lot of that popularity can be attributed to the success of Summon and Salt's videos. More than any other YouTuber, Summon and Salt brings a level of excitement and emotion to his videos that you cannot find anywhere else. He is able to make a guy walking out of bounds in Mega Man 2 at what looks like 3 frames a second the most interesting accomplishment in the history of esports. As of writing, he is currently working on what he claims will be his longest video yet, and I cannot wait to see what he does next. I am sure by now you think you have me figured out. I am just gonna fill out the rest of this list with video essay YouTubers who talk about obscure topics. Well, think again. At number 6 we have Seth Fowler, one of the best sneaker YouTubers of all time. In 2020, I knew nothing about sneakers or sneaker culture. I could not tell the difference between a Yeezy 700 and an Air Jordan 2. But that is when I discovered Seth Fowler. Unlike most other sneaker YouTubers, Seth Fowler's content is much more accessible to the average schmuck like me, which I think is helped by the fact that he does not film his videos in front of a warehouse filled with the most expensive sneakers ever made. Seth also does a great job explaining why each shoe in his reviews is unique and gives reasons for and against buying them. On top of that, he has a series where he starts a sneaker collection from scratch with just $20, showing that if you are dedicated enough to go thrift shopping a few hours each week, you'll be able to grow your own collection of hyped up and cool looking sneakers. Seth Fowler has done the impossible and made hypebeast culture genuinely interesting, which makes him deserving of being on this list. For years, there has been one name that stands out among all music critics on YouTube. There is only one person whose reviews receive millions of views, whose tastes and preferences will influence thousands of others, and whose fanbase mercilessly bullies them in their comment section and recently created Twitch chat. Of course, I am talking about Sean C. There's not really much to say about Sean. He is simply the most thoughtful and well-spoken rap and R&B music reviewer on YouTube, and no one else really comes close. He is able to express his opinions on an album or recent controversy in a way that, even if you do not agree with him, you're able to see where he is coming from and why he feels that way. So, instead of saying the same sentence over and over again for an entire segment, here are my own top 8 albums of 2022, most of which were reviewed and talked about by Sean C. Number 8 is 10 by Westside Gunn. Number 7 is Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. Number 6 is The Forever Story by JID. Number 5 is Red and White by Lil Uzi Vert. Yes, Uzi is above Kendrick and JID. I like the production more. Number 4 is It's Almost Dry by Pusha T. Number 3 is Melt My Eyes, See My Future by Denzel Curry. Number 2 is I Never Liked You by Future. And number 1 is Heroes and Villains by Metro Boomin, which was released 2 days ago as of writing. There are 2 types of video essay channels. The first kind is the type of degenerate yet well-researched, scripted, and edited essays made by people like Turkey Tom, which I've already talked about extensively in this video. The second are the ones by people like ContraPoints, Quentin Reviews, and H-Bomber Guy, which mostly consists of a weird-looking fella talking about religion or transgender people or Roblox for 3 hours. I have no problem with the second kind of video essay, but they never really caught my attention. That is, until I saw this video on my recommended earlier this year, titled The Neurosis of Cat Valentine. Intrigued, I clicked on the video, and I was greeted with this.
Welcome back to hell. I filmed these videos with a cardboard toilet paper roll instead of a camera. A smug and ambitious octopus could play Dance Dance Revolution whilst barely moving quite effectively. In 2014, at 20 years old, Ariana Grande won the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award for Favorite Female TV Star. It's the greatest accolade she's ever received, and her career's been on a sharp decline ever since.
CJ the X is one of the most innovative creators on YouTube. I've talked before about how people like Implement can make any topic interesting, which is awesome because you never know what kind of video he's gonna make next. CJ takes this to the extreme. He can go from making a video about why Twilight is actually an underrated masterpiece to a top 10 list of different types of water, to a 2.5 hour long contemplation on Jeff Bezos and capitalism, and then back to talking about a movie within the span of 4 uploads. Also, even within those uploads, oftentimes the topic will spiral out of control. In the top 10 types of water video I just mentioned, CJ the X spends a third of the video talking about a random Kirby Air Ride Let's Play he found that was uploaded 13 years ago and, when he found it, only had 2.7k views. If you are willing to take the time and actively pay attention to what CJ the X is saying, he does end up giving some pretty insightful commentary on whatever it is he is talking about, eventually. The other day, I was thinking about how all of the big, edgy creators I was a fan of in 2017 all ended up falling off. iDubbbz, HCH3, Filthy Frank, Max Mofo, I Hate Everything, Greta Underray, Jacksum, Sneaka Higa. Most of these guys either declined heavily in video quality, take extended hiatuses between each video, or have quit entirely. Then, there is Dunkey. I have been watching him for 5 years, yet unlike all the other guys I just mentioned, each video feels like I am just discovering him for the first time. Very few gaming channels can still catch my interest, but whenever I see a Dunkey video in my sub box, I click on it immediately. Now, it is true that, recently, some people are starting to turn on Dunkey. While most people claim it is just because Dunkey has been making more controversial reviews, honestly, I feel like he has had a problem with taking criticism from people for a long time now, going all the way back to the Octopath Traveler video. But, Dunkey has not let these controversies affect his content, and as long as he keeps this up, he will only continue to grow his legendary status.
Alright, ladder us down, Travis.
Repelling!
Oh god.
He's in the fray! Ah! You pushed me off!
That may than me. Don't jump
Oh my
into
God, I'm
one
crying.
deep water. You don't live.
Dude, I'm kind of out here fighting for my fucking life, bro. Where are you guys?
Boom. We only have 3 more. Ladies and
Wait, what?
Oh my God.
In black, this is what you guys did. This is what you guys did, right? You guys went like this, and then did this, okay? But I trolled, and when I went around, I went like this.
Dude.
And then I went all the way around and went like this and came back and met with you guys. But I think Logan
In
went
red.
like this, and then came back like this, and then went like this.
If you made it this far, you are probably subscribed to my YouTube channel. If you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, you have probably seen a lot of my videos, and know that they are almost exclusively about either the Minecraft PvP community or the remnants of the Call Me Carson SMP Live community. If you watch these videos, and you are still not subscribed to Cscoop, one of the best creators from both of these communities, what are you doing? Before I talk about my number 1 YouTuber of the year, I'll go over some different groups of YouTubers that are similar in one way or another as honorable mentions, starting off with the YouTubers that literally only made a single video this year. In January, there was the grand return of Nerd City and Colossal is Crazy, who uploaded part 1 of their 3-part documentary series on social media sensation J-Station. This video was an excellent breakdown on why so many people hate J-Station, and why there is a good case that he is the worst YouTuber to ever exist, and I cannot wait to see where the two of them go from here. Next we have Salmonella Academy, an educational creator who returned to YouTube after a 2-year hiatus with a video about scientific animal names. I have no clue if he will ever upload again, but at least he went out with one last banger. A similar situation happened in July of this year, when gaming YouTuber Raccoon Eggs returned after a 3-year hiatus, bringing back the good old days of CSGO surf funny moments from 2018. 2022 was also the year where the legendary rapper Super Hot Fire returned to YouTube to rap battle Blueface, what is probably the video that made me laugh the most this year.
Okay. He heating up. What's he doing? He heating up. He heating up. No. What is that? I heard that. I never heard that before. I ain't never heard of correction, bro. Stop.
Finally, although Your Movie Sucks did make slightly more than one video this year, I also put him in this section because of his 3-hour-long video dissecting the first half of the Lion King remake that perfectly sums up every single little frustration thousands of people have with Walt Disney Studios. Next, we have 4 YouTubers that, while I watched a lot this year, are pretty niche. First, we have Lil Curbs, a YouTuber who uploads videos of him completing the hardest Super Mario Maker levels. His videos contain 0 filler, and are all under 4 minutes long, so it is really easy to binge his entire catalog in just one day. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have Kitt Kitt Lou, a YouTuber with under 1,000 subscribers who uploads videos of him fighting different bosses in Toontown Rewritten and Toontown Corporate Clash. However, he puts crazy restrictions on these battles that make the boss fights take 1 to 2 hours to complete. Regardless of the length, it is still fun to watch as he pushes the game to its limits. Similarly, Mr. Joe's Baseball Show is a YouTube channel dedicated to pushing Mario Superstar Baseball to its competitive limits. The channel is full of highlights from various tournaments between the top ranked players in the game, and Joe does a great job of making the content accessible to someone who has never even played a GameCube game like me. Finally, if you are a fan of the TV show Survivor, I would highly recommend checking out Peridium's videos if you haven't already, as his videos are very informative on the history of the show. For my last honorable mention, we have the Misfits, a group of 6 creators who have appeared on both my 2020 and 2021 lists. After taking a long hiatus in the first half of the year, they returned in August and have released 4 of the funniest vlog-style videos I have ever seen on YouTube. So, why are they not on the list? Well, it turns out that their manager, Ryan P, is, allegedly, a well-known sexual predator behind the scenes. I will probably be turning this situation into its own video, because I have not seen any other creator talking about it, so stay tuned for when that releases if you are interested. Now, without further ado, let's talk about my number 1. In March of 2021, I made a video about Toontown Online's history on YouTube, and the main person in the video I talked about was a YouTuber named Random Toon. who was the biggest and most influential YouTuber in the Toontown community until he died tragically in 2018. In that video, I talk about how Random Toon's death and subsequent impact on the community would be like if the biggest Minecraft YouTuber died right at the peak of their popularity. I thought for sure that something like this would never happen again on YouTube, but unfortunately I was wrong. What is there to be said about Technoblade that has not already been said a million times before? He was genuinely one of the greatest Minecraft PvPers of all time, having become the #1 ranked player in 3 distinct game modes on the biggest Minecraft PvP server ever, and later going on to become the #1 ranked player in the biggest PvE game mode. But at that same time, he was also one of the funniest and most entertaining personalities to ever play the game, even during his Minecraft PvP days. His Skywars commentaries are some of the funniest content on YouTube ever. He collaborated with dozens of other legendary YouTubers from all across the Minecraft community, no matter their size. Existorio, Painful PvP, Tapo, Defib, The Best Ginger 13, Tabor, Zyper, Just a Hot Dog, iBallistic Squid, Junkie Janker, Shotgun Raids, Mydoza, Shale Apples, DanCDM, Skeppy. The list goes on and on. On top of that, he joined some of the biggest Minecraft tournaments of all time and dominated, usually winning multiple times. He helped turn a simple YouTuber SMP into one of the biggest social media events of all time. He beat hardcore Minecraft with just a steering wheel. He won the Potato War. But, most importantly, he also made some pretty sweet Town of Salem videos. To me, Technoblade represents something more than just another Minecraft YouTuber who made entertaining videos. He is the embodiment of everything that makes YouTube great. He started out just like the average person, uploading videos solely for the thrill of creating something and documenting his life. Over time, he improved his content more and more, and eventually became one of the leaders of a small subculture on YouTube. But unlike 99% of creators who never make it out of their little corner of the internet, Technoblade did, and went on to influence and inspire millions of people across the globe, never sacrificing what made him so great in the first place. When I first heard Technoblade say he would one day reach 10 million subscribers, I thought for sure that would be impossible for a Minecraft PvP YouTuber to do. Now, 7 years later, I am thinking about who is next. Long live Technoblade, the greatest YouTuber.